What is going on, Frontier Doubles League? It is me, RhinoBoy11, back again with another FDL Central. You know what we do here on a Wednesday at 6 o'clock EST. It's a very happy Thanksgiving episode of the FDL Central, your hub of all things FDL. I cannot wait to break down this week in FDL for you. We've got some very, very exciting things to talk about, and I cannot do it alone, same as every week. I've got two very, very special guests here, as you can see below me. The first one I'm going to introduce is a Eagles player. He plays in the Adept League. We talk about his teammates a lot, but today is all about him. Please welcome Lil Debbie. How are you doing?
Fantastic, Rhino. Thank you for having me here on the FDL Central.
We're
really looking forward to what we have to talk about.
We're so excited to have you. It's a pleasure. And just below him, the only bearded man on the panel today. It's what it is. I've shaved. It's a thing. But from the Seagulls Origin team, please welcome Ethereal Doom. How are you, my man?
Hi. I'm doing well. I'm a little exhausted, but that's beside the point. Yeah, happy to be here finally. After like 7 weeks.
Listen, there's a process. There's a form, okay? We stick to the form. But it is a pleasure to finally have you on. I look forward to getting into stuff with you both. With that said, we can get on to our individual little deep dives here. So something we've started doing every week here on the FDL Central, if you've not been watching, is we have been discussing how we found Rocket League, how we started with Rocket League, and how that converted into competitive play. So, Debbie, I want to start with you. What are your memories of when you first picked up the game, and then how did that convert into a competitive kind of want?
So it started off, Xbox had a free-to-play weekend for Rocket League, and all my friends were like, hey, you got to get on this game, and I'm like, is it that stupid car soccer game? Ah, man, I did not want to play Rocket League at first. And when they finally got me playing, they had me sit in net, play permanent goalie. I did not have a fun time at the start of Rocket League. But eventually I kept playing with my friends. I found it enjoyable. I started improving. And then at some point I was like, you know, I've been hard stuck in Diamond 2 for a while. Maybe joining a league would really help me out and improve my growth as a player. And now I hit Champ 3 this season. So, all the way from Diamond 2 to Champ 3. It's a good feeling.
Oh, it's a little bit early in the evening to be flexing, but you know what, we get out here, very, very nice. And switching over to Doom, what about you, picking up Rocket League, finding competitive scene, how is it for you?
So I've had this game since like 2017 and stuff. Didn't even play it till like 2 years later. Wow, I'm slow. Anyway, and then basically just start off your leagues and stuff, and well, yeah, here I am. And it's not as exciting, but it is what it is.
I mean, not everyone's story is exciting, right? I mean, sometimes you just pick up a game, you play it a bit, you find people who play it as well, and they play in a league, and that's the way it is. So
Exactly.
that's the story. That's how it is. So, good stuff. We've got a little bit of a background about both of you. We're going to deep dive into your FDL careers now, so get ready for that. Debbie, will start on your side. You played on the Rams last season. I believe you also played on the... Well, I'm not sure if you played, but you were on the Unicorns as well. And you were at Origin last season, and you've stepped up to Adept this season. How do you feel that step has been for you?
Fantastic. I really enjoyed the higher level of competitive play.
Mm-hmm.
There were back in the previous Origin season, since the salary was a little bit more mixed up, you would have way more one-sided lineup matchups or lineup advantages and disadvantages. So I think with the new Adept League this season, that it's really made this season extremely competitive.
Mm-hmm. It certainly seems that way, although you are not making it look particularly competitive with your performances. Let's run through a couple of stats. Currently, Debbie is the top scoring player on the Eagles Adepts team, 565 average score per game, 2 goals per game on average. Only played two series so far this season, though. Are you looking forward to playing more in the back half of this season and maybe, upping those stats even further?
Oh, absolutely. I'm hungry, man. I joined this team ready to play. I've known Southpaw and KJ for quite a while. I've been wanting to play with them, so this is my opportunity, and I want to make it count.
I do want to ask one more thing, because we do talk quite a lot about KJ and Southpaw. They are such legends of FDL. They've been around for quite a while. Obviously, you want to play with them. That is great. Is it one of those things that you kind of relish, being almost a bit of a third man, even though you are top of the rankings, you are top of the, you are, but statistically the best performing player on that team? Is it something that you prefer, or is it something that you're not particularly fond of?
Either way, it doesn't bother me. I know they're great players, and I have confidence in myself. So whenever I'm stepping onto the field with them, or whenever they're stepping onto the field, I have full confidence in our play, and I believe in us as a team.
And you certainly have made a great team this season. Thank you very much, Debbie. We move sides over to Ethereal, and we want to talk about the Seagulls Origin. So, been with the league now since season 2. You were signed up to the league in season 2, if I've done my research correctly. Bounced around a couple of teams, 2 teams through season 3. In fact, you and Debbie were on the same team for a couple of weeks. I believe it was it wasn't the Coyotes. Was it the Rams?
Unicorns.
Unicorns. You're both on the Unicorns. My apologies. Then you switched sides to I believe it was the Rams.
Coyotes.
Oh, right. Debbie was on the Rams.
You're good.
The research is there. It's just not with the right people. My apologies. The Coyotes reserve for that last part of the season. But this season, you're with the Seagulls. You've been with them since day one. Do you feel like you found a team that you really want to stick with and be a part of?
That's an understatement. Yeah, it's been great chemistry. Kofke's an absolute madman. Same with Turtle, and yeah, and we just picked up a new reserve this week that I don't even know yet. So looking forward to meeting him.
Meeting new players, that is all part of the league format. And one other question before we get going into the recap from last week. Obviously, you've been in Origin for a few seasons now. Is it a environment which you thrive in? Do you enjoy the environment in Origin? Would you like to see yourself pushing through into the higher leagues, or are you quite happy where you are?
I think the skill level I'm at right now, I think I'm quite happy. My cell got moved up last week, and it damn near gave me a scare, but that's a different topic for another time. But I don't know. Eventually, I'd like to push up, but I think for now I'm quite happy where I'm at. So.
Very nice. Well, that is a little introduction to both of our wonderful guests this week. I look forward to hearing everything you have to say for the rest of the show, because we have to get onto the meat and potatoes of this wonderful show that we call FDL Central. It starts with the recap from last week's games, and of course we start, as we do every single week, in the Origin League. Let's go through these Origin games then. Obviously, the league which we find Ethereal Doom, so we will go through them in depth. The first game we talk about is a little bit of a sweep. The Monkeys sweeping the Griffins 3-0. Barnese and Saucy playing against Omen and Slammermoth. Ethereal, this is your league. What do you think about these players? Is a sweep a surprise for you?
Surprise against Griffins just being swept. That's a little of a surprise, a little of an understatement. God, damn. Like, that's yeah. Monkeys, you scary.
Monkeys,
you scary.
Monkeys, you scary. Debbie, do you agree? Monkeys be scary.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Griffins were going into this match 4-1, while the Monkeys were 2-3. This on paper looks like an easy Griffins win, and the Monkeys come out guns blazing and sweep the Griffins. That's a big statement to all teams out there. The Monkeys aren't anything to mess with.
They really aren't, and another team that are nothing to mess with is the Origin Dragons. We are keeping the brooms out for the next game because the Dragons beat the Colts 3-0. Kimono and Kamikaze Mook taking out Big Pug and Mr. Gibby. A little bit of a different look for this Colts team. I believe these are two brand new pickups. Debbie, can you talk to me about any of the players in this game? And again, is a sweep a surprise?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily a surprise. Like you said, these are two brand new players to the roster for the Colts. So there might not be that chemistry that was there. I mean, we've had like 6 weeks so far. So these are brand new players playing with each other, while the Dragons are kind of like a cemented team and always a threat to any of the Origin players.
Always a threat, absolutely. Ethereal, what do you think about this particular Dragons team? Are they scary? Are you thinking this is a freak result, or what's your kind of thinking on this particular Dragons team?
To be fair, I haven't seen much of Kamikaze yet. I am a little surprised Colts got swept though, because Big Pug's a guy I know from another week, and he's good, but like, yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah.
So, but that might be interesting. Except when we face them, because we get them.
Oh yes, egoing of Origin teams. I love it. We switch sides, moving over to the Unicorns taking on the Coyotes. My apologies. Not quite able to get the brooms out of the closet this one, but the Unicorns did take this one in relatively convincing fashion, 3-1. Ethereal, talk to me about this particular game. Obviously, we know the Coyotes. We know what they're about. We've talked about them for quite a lot of weeks on this show. We haven't really gone too in-depth on this Unicorn side. What do you know about them?
Well, the first thing I could say, a small golf clap, because they finally got a win.
They got a win.
It took them 6 weeks, but
6 weeks.
They did it.
They did it.
6 weeks, yeah. I came close. It's fine. Anyway, yeah, the Unicorns finally turned it around, and I was thinking Coyotes would pull it off, especially after they beat us the week before, which we won't talk about, but that's beside the point. But yeah, congrats, Achilles, you finally got a win, bruh. Congrats.
Congrats to the Unicorns. They did manage to take it home. Debbie, is the fact that the Unicorns did manage to get a win this week a surprise to you over this Coyotes team who we know are established?
I think it is a surprise. Azriel, Grandpa, and Uber, they're all phenomenal players in their own right. I've seen a couple of the Unicorns games. Kilius is always streaming. So, like, I see the talent there on the Unicorns, and it was more so a shock to me that they didn't have a better record. But going against the Coyotes, I thought this would be a Coyotes win. So, it is a good win for the Unicorns, definitely. Especially taking it over the Coyotes.
If I remember rightly, we also, on the podcast last week, agreed that it would probably be a Coyotes win. It is also worth mentioning that the Unicorns actually have 2 wins this season, but the other one did come in a forfeit, so that's why Ethereal is getting very, very excited about the fact that they actually won a game in the server. As opposed
the FF win doesn't count.
The FF win. Well, the scoreboard.
I mean, it counts as a
scoreboard's a
it
shame.
counts as a win, but like you gotta actually do it in the series game to make
Points
it
are points.
count. But that's not the point.
Points are points at the end of the day.
Yeah, sure.
And finally, we move on to the game that Ethereal has been dying to talk about. His Seagulls took down the Huskies 3-1. Ethereal, you weren't playing. It was Cobk and Puppy. But did you watch the game? How did you find it? All that good stuff.
So I came in on the because I had another league match at the beforehand, so I came in like the tail end of that. Little background context. Puppy War Turtle was sick as a damn dog during the half of that. They're like pretty much the entire match, and they still pulled it off. Like that's, yeah. My boys be strong. That's why you never bet against them, Rhino.
Hey, I didn't.
Warn your husband, man.
Look, we've got this thing. We've got this back and forth thing, all right, Ethereal, that happens on the FDL Central. We're 1-1. I bet with you this time. And we're good. We're on a page right now, so we got to keep that going for the rest of the season, okay?
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
We got to stay on the wavelength. Debbie, talk to me about this Huskies team. Obviously, they brought in a reserve. How is it when a team brings in a reserve? Is it one of those things where like you're doing it out of necessity, so you kind of don't mind about the result, or do you think that the Huskies would have really been searching for a win here? In-depth question. I know. I'm throwing you in there.
I think this was a scheduling issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know Cool Bags, and he's a really busy guy. He was on the Rams last season.
Mm-hmm.
He's a phenomenal player, and this scoreline breaks my heart. I love Cobb and I love Doom, So my heart is split down the middle with this matchup right here. I think bringing a reserve in it really tells the strength of a team. Because when you sign a reserve, you don't want to just sign someone just to have them and like have them sit there on the sideline. They're a reserve; they're part of the team, so you should be bringing them into scrims and practice and replay reviews.
Sure.
So, I think it more so defines the team's overall strength.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, not able to get it done this week. I do see Saucy in the chat. Pleasure to see you tonight. We've already talked about your Monkeys team sweeping the Griffins, but go back and watch the VOD. We appreciate you watching. Moving on to Debbie's league, we're going to discuss Adept next, and boy, do we have some games to get through. Some nail biters, some sweeps. Let's get into it. Okay, first up, we're going to talk about the Coyotes taking down the Rams in a 5-game thriller. 3-2 to Unsung Hero and Gurgling RL, taking out Kenny and Veracity. Debbie, what do you know about these boys? What do you think about the scoreline?
This one is another heartbreaker for me, because this is not only a Game 5 loss for the Rams, but it's their third Game 5 loss this season. Meaning they were 3 games away throughout the season from standing at a 3-2 record, which would have major playoff implications, and Terra would look completely different right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a huge win for the Coyotes. It helps to cement them. They're in the top 3 for Terra, and it's a heartbreaking loss for the Rams.
Yeah, another one. They've got to shake that. That monkey off their back, really, haven't they? They've got to be able to start winning these Game 5s. Doom, do you know these players in particular? Is it as heartbreaking for you as it was for Debbie?
I mean, compared to how good Unsun and Gurgwin are, it wasn't as heartbreaking. Honestly, in my eyes, they're both good. They're both my buds, and yeah. Sorry, Caddy, but not this time.
Something that would have been heartbreaking to, I would imagine, the Gators team was getting swept by the Huskies. Miller was on the show last week. He was very confident. I think everyone else on the panel went against him, and he's absolutely told us where to go. And Miller and Romeo pick up the 3-0 sweep victory over the Gators, Kin and Thor. Doom, talk to me about this for a sec. What was going on?
I guess the Huskies be too good. And this is why apparently Miller, I guess now, was also saying this is why you don't bet against me, bruh.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Miller is in
But,
chat.
yeah.
Pleasure to see you. Yeah.
Hi, Miller.
Shock that he shows up just as we're talking about this. Yeah.
he was lurking. He has eyes and ears of steel.
He felt a disturbance in the force and logged into Twitch. Debbie, talk to me. What does this mean for the Gators now, getting swept this week?
I honestly don't think it means much. Huskies are the number 2 team in Terror right now.
Mhm.
Gators only need one more win really to solidify a playoff spot. So I don't think they're taking it too harshly. Maybe they're gonna go back, look at their mistakes, but I don't think they're letting this one really bother them.
It's a shake it off and go again situation, which they will be able to do this coming week. Next up is we are keeping the sweeps out for now. It's the Vipers as they swept away the Monkeys 3-0. Sticks and Deathman getting it done for the Vipers. Debbie, Sticks and Deathman. Do you know these players? Do you know any of the Monkeys players?
I know the Vipers players,
Mm-hmm.
of course. Rico and Styx being the former Origin champions.
Yeah.
They're a phenomenal duo, but Deathman is a great third pickup for them. Deathman, I think, is an underrated player. And I think it speaks to that their C lineup, Styx and Deathman, took down a Monkeys A lineup. Albeit they had a reserve, but that is still pretty good win. And not only that, but it was with a sweep.
With a sweep, it's quite impressive. I have to say to the chat, apologies, I did forget my transitions. We are now on Adept League. We have been for the last 10 minutes. That's my bad. Doom.
With the program right, oh damn.
Listen, okay. It's been a long day. We're getting there. Vipers Monkeys, talk to me about this one, Doom. What do you think about this particular game?
Well, considering what was it, Styx and Deathman that played?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, considering Styx beat the Orchard team I was on for championship last season, which again we will talk about. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I've seen Styx, he's goated. I've heard great things about Deathman because he's Terminator's friend, so, yeah. Golf clap.
The golf clap
That's
indeed. We keep with the Brooms for one final game here in the Adept League as the Owls of Shoddy Driver and Shay took out Adaspedi and Crazy Bacon of your team. Ethereal of the Seagulls. Sweeps are out. Talk to me real quick about this Seagulls Adept team and you know what you make of their season so far.
Well, I will start by saying sadly the Adept team couldn't pull off the franchise 2 in a row again.
No.
Oh well. Anyway, yeah, I hate to see it.
You hate
F's
to
in
see
chat. Anyway, yeah, they've been good, and how much I could say.
No, absolutely. Debbie, talk to me about this particular game. Owls getting a sweep over the Seagulls. I mean, the Seagulls are no mugs. This was planned to be a pretty tough game for them, but they've made it look easy.
Oh yeah, 1000%. I thought it was going to be a closer series as well. Adaspedi's a phenomenal player. I mean, his salary's at 12.5, but he's sitting at 13.1 right now. Crazy Bacon can hold his own. But the Owls came out with an aggressive play style, and they took advantage of a lot of space that the Seagulls were giving up. So it was just the Seagulls couldn't adapt.
You could say the Seagulls couldn't adapt. Ah.
Where's the foghorn when you need it?
Big brain. We move. we move on to Griffins Penguins. The Penguins still cannot buy a win. Scooter and Loop, unfortunately, going down 3-1 against this Griffins side of CJ and Pancake. Debbie, this Penguins team have not picked up a win all season. What is missing for them, do you think?
I think it's just maybe chemistry, and at this point, it might be motivation.
Okay.
Going into this game, they were 0-5. They needed to win 5 games straight to even have a chance at the playoffs. They made a roster change, picking up AJ Binky from the Vipers. So I think going forward, they might have a little bit more motivation to win a couple games. But I think that was the biggest issue for them. But we'd have to give them credit. Penguins, even though they are completely defeated this season, they were the first team in a depth to take a game off of Griffins.
Which, I mean, that kind of record is absolutely nuts, right? Doom, have you seen anything like that before? This Griffins team, this was the first time they've lost a game, let alone a series, a game this season.
I mean, I've seen it happen elsewhere before, but it's yeah. Just all I can say is, even though they took a game off, Scooter cannot catch a break.
He can't.
Like, poor man.
I will say, we love Scoot here on FDL Central. Great player, and hopefully he can find a team that works for him soon. I mean, Loop is also a great player. I've seen him play really, really good on the sticks, so maybe they can get a winning run going in the last half of the season. We'll have to keep a watch on that. Praying for you guys to get that dub. And almost as if I'd planned it, we leave the panelists game right until last. It's a nail-biter of a game between the Eagles and the Unicorns, but KJ and Southpaw in what may well be that duo's retirement game. Sad face if we're talking about FDL Central. They managed to get out the win 3-2 over Fruitsky and Daddy Grimmy 3-2. Debbie, were you sweating? Were you worried? Or did the boys have it in the bag all day long?
Man, I'll tell you, I was in the middle of Friendsgiving. They said, "Hey, we're gonna go into this game," and I said, "Y'all got this. I know it." They went down 2-0 in the series and came back to reverse sweep the Unicorns. And I know all 3 Unicorns players. They're not bad players at all. Boopski, cracked. Gomi, cracked. Grimmy, cracked. But KJ and Southpaw, they've got that chemistry. They've been playing together for seasons on end. They've been in this position before, and I was confident in them coming back to grab the win.
They have what is often referred to as the X factor. They have it. No one knows what it is, but somehow they pull these kind of results out of nowhere.
It's the H factor.
The H factor, yeah, it could be.
See you with that Chris Jericho reference, by the way.
Pleasure. We go to Doom. Obviously, we know about this Eagles team. I want you to give your other panelists a little bit of love. Obviously, we're talking about this Eagles team being KJ and Southpaw. We have done for weeks, but it is the entire team that makes the team, isn't it? It's all 3, even the 3 players plus reserve. Everyone in that team is making this work for the Eagles this season.
Yeah, definitely. And Debbie, I like you, I love you, and I also love my boys KJ and Southpaw. KJ, I see you. Shout out. And yeah, they cracked. That's all I'm saying. Eagles a depth team, season 4 champion.
Oh, Eagles!
Let's go. I like that prediction.
If you jinx me on that, KJ, I will never let you live that down. Don't jinx me, boy. Don't jinx me.
Hey, I mean that's documented now. So it is what it is. We welcome Robot to the chat as well. Only 28 minutes late. We appreciate you being here. Thank you, mate.
SMH.
It's a pleasure. No. We stand Robot. Okay, I will not have any bad words against him. He is the best.
I know. I'm giving him shit.
He is the best. We will talk. In fact, we will discuss him in a matter of moments. But first, we have to switch over to the Expert League, and we are going to run through some of these scores, and then we will talk about it as best as we can. So, the Hornets just couldn't get it done against the Colts in a 3-2 absolute crazy game. Another 3-2 saw the Huskies take down the Monkeys. The Gators, Mr. Robot in the chat, swept the Rams 3-0. He'll be quite happy about that one. The Vipers went down 3-1 against the Coyotes. The Dragons, with Hawkish playing, won a game 3-1 against the Owls. A little bit of a new look Owls, that one. The Seagulls managed to get a 3-1 win over the Griffins. The Hydras Penguins game was a forfeit in favour of the Hydras. And the Unicorns managed to take down the Eagles managed to take down the Unicorns 3-1. Both of your organisations managing to get huge dubs in this league. Let's talk about the Eagles first. Paddy, Bell, T-Nori, Debbie. This team can really do something special this season, can't they?
Oh, 1000%. Paddy, Bell, T-Nori, they're all cracked. Us on the Adept team, we scrim them about 3 times a week. So we know what they're capable of. And every single week, we never have any doubt and confidence against them. I think they're gonna go pretty far this season.
They absolutely could. There's no doubt about that. Doom, let's talk quickly about your Seagulls, as well, getting a win over this Griffins team, which we've talked about before on this show, and are not bad players in the slightest. Big win for your Seagulls this particular week.
Yeah, I mean, a little surprising considering Brother is absolutely cracked out of his mind. I don't care what you say in defense of that, Brother, you're cracked.
He is.
But anyway,
It's true.
yeah, only thing I can say, Seagull's cracked. We're just better. We're just built different. I'm sorry.
Just built different. I back it. I back the confidence. Debbie, switching back. Built different. Switching back over to you. Anything here that you particularly want to talk about? Anything that maybe surprised you? Anything that catches your eye? Anyone in particular you want to discuss?
I think the outcomes of the Vipers Coyotes match and the Owls Dragons match was pretty surprising.
Mm-hmm.
The Vipers, I believe, going into this match were like 4-1 compared to the Coyotes, who were 3-2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks like it would have been a Vipers win.
Yeah, that's right.
However, Coyotes came in with a salary advantage, and you know what? They managed to bring out the victory. I also know the Owls they have some pretty good players. Magnificent or Sean, Maleficent right there. But they managed to lose, which is a bit surprising to me. Just the caliber of players there. I thought that they would be able to squeak out a win there.
I've got to say the Owls are one of my favourite teams now, only because they've got Magnificent and Maleficent, which is just a pain for every caster in this league. It is. If you're a caster in that game, I feel very, very sorry for you. One day it will be me, and I'm gonna trip over my words like no one's business. Shouts.
Just combine them together, bro. Be like Magnificent Maleficent. Or Maleficent. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's their new team name. Also, we appreciate Toucan. Hope to see you back this week. Also, it's a pleasure to see Comus in the chat. Obviously, we just talked about your Coyotes getting a big win this week. Nice to see you this evening. And honestly, I have to make a public apology. And the reason I have to make a public apology is because I've been talking trash about a particular player in Expert for 7 weeks now on this particular show. And this week, he has completely shut me up. And it's a pleasure to see. He's a friend of the show. Hawkish, my brother. I appreciate you. Good win this week, getting the dub over this Owls team. I will not have a go at you this particular week. You're the man. I hope for more. Good lad. We move on to Doom. Anyone particularly in this in this league that you want to talk about before we switch sides?
Well, I will say shoutouts to my boy the Harmonic and his Colts team for getting a dub. Congrats, buddy. And also, my old teammates from last season, Yeti and Reaper, also got dubs this week too. So yeah, Reaper finally got himself one. I love you, bud. And Yeti still being the dominant human being he is.
Reaper and Skeletons actually pulling out a win I maybe wasn't expecting with the 3-2 win over the Monkeys. Rizm and Frank are really good, and as a team they've been looking really good this season. So
yeah,
great.
I mean they're both pretty. They're both pretty good, but Reaper and Skelly built different.
So well,
I think Skelly plays better than his salary.
Yeah, that agreed. It's the same way in another week that I'm in with him too. So yeah.
Absolutely fair enough. Well, we can now move on to our penultimate league of recaps. It has been a long day, I tell you. It is the Star League, and we first have to discuss the Gators taking down the Dragons 3-2. Barn burner of a game, absolutely crazy. The Rams sweep the Penguins 3-0. The Hydras take out the Colts 3-1. And the Owls take out the Vipers also in a 3-1 fashion. Debbie, players in here, who do you recognise?
Gare Bear, Evario Pro, Doomster. Sheesh. I know all of them, and they're all phenomenal players. So it's a little bit surprising when you see some sweeps in Star League, considering some of the talent seems so close together. Yeah.
No, it looks like a very, very close league. Doom, what about you? What are you seeing in this particular league that stands out to you?
The fact that J-Dubs and his Rams team got a dub, pun intended. So yeah, that was fun. Then, yeah, I don't know too many others. Instead, we got Stubbs and Llama and Gare Bear being the absolute correct minds they are, and Yavera Pro, you'll get one soon. Don't worry, it's coming.
Yeah, Wyverian Pro, it seems, have had a little bit of trouble adapting to Star League life. They're 2-4 right now with Cardboard Box and Falcon in their ranks, and yeah, I mean. It is a big step up when you go from expert to star. I mean, the cap doesn't go up by... It doesn't look like it goes up by much, right? But when you're actually playing those games, when you're actually in those games, the difference in quality is quite high. And I imagine, Debbie, you've probably found that in Origin to Adept. Maybe not at the same level, because Origin was kind of at the same level last season. But it probably is quite a lot more competitive now than it was last season for you. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. To me, it seemed like any 12+ Sal player put together with like any teammate would pretty much stomp like any C or B lineup. So I must imagine it's the same for Star.
Yeah. For me, I just want to shout out Michael. Unfortunately, not being able to get the win this week, but we love you here, Michael. Close friend of mine, so hoping to see those results turning around for you nice and soon. And with that said, we can recap our final league of the night, which is going to be Elite League. We first have to apologise. There are 2 results in this particular league that I don't know. So if you know in the chat, please let me know. The Hornets and the Vipers, I don't know what the score was there, and the Unicorns and the Hydras, I don't know what happened in either of those games. So if you do know and you're in the chat, let me know and we'll have a talk about it. But for now, for the games I do know, this it may be the Elite League, but it turns out they are elite janitors, because we are only getting sweeps. Okay, that's all it is. We're only getting brooms out because the Monkeys went down 3-0 to the Colts. KJ, if you're in the chat, haha. Huskies taking out the Rams 3-0. The Penguins got a forfeit win over the Eagles, and the Dragons came through with a 3-0 victory over the Owls. Doom, talk to me about any of these players. Anyone you recognise? Any surprises in here? Anyone you thought might have been able to pull out a different result?
Well, starting off with Monkeys. When will Christopher K get a win? Like, come on, man. We're waiting to see it. We're waiting to see it, Chris. You're cracked, and so is Drews. Like, come on, bruh. Get a dub.
No, see,
man, I'm pulling for ya.
See, I know why Chris has lost this week. I've got the inside scoop. Chris
Why is that?
only ever wants to finish a season 5-5. That's fact. That is fact. Okay. So with this loss, he now goes 3-3. All he needs to do is go even for the rest of the season, and
He has
boom.
to be perfectly symmetrical with his record, apparently.
He's met his KPIs. He's got the 5-5 season that he seeks. So, I mean, I personally think it's a genius play. 500 IQ. There's not much else to say about that one, but kidding.
Yeah,
I love you, Chris. By the way.
We love you, Chris. But
Please.
The man that literally hyped me up the most times when I didn't even get on a team before. Wow. And another person to shout out, Waddy, Lettuce, and Tater. Yeah, they're my boys. I don't know this is a lot or not, but props to Waddy Lettuce for winning the RST championship recently too. So love you, bud.
Golf clap.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Debbie, talk to me about this then. Obviously, the Eagles have a long history in Elite League of being one of, if not the best team in this league. Sky and CBK are crazy. How do you think their chances are this season of getting back to the playoff championship?
High, without a doubt. I mean,
high as the Sky.
Yes.
High as something else that I'm not gonna mention.
They write themselves.
So, with this forfeit loss up there, they take their sitting at a 4-2 record. I mean, they still only need to squeak out 2 more wins to make playoffs, right? So I think their chances are high. The second they make playoffs, I know CBK and Sky, they're just gonna pop off.
Yeah, I've got no worries about them either. Is there anyone? Is there any teams you think they're particularly scared of in this league? Are there any teams that you think are gonna are most likely to take that title away from them? Big question. Big question.
I mean,
because I've got 2.
I could see Huskies maybe. I mean, Waddy and Tater together are pretty correct.
Yeah.
So I see Huskies maybe.
Yeah, Huskies seem pretty dangerous, but I believe in the CBK Sky chemistry.
I've got to give a shout to the other Europeans as well. I've got to give a shout to Antti and Azza. Still, as far as I know, undefeated.
No bias.
No bias, of course not. So yeah, they. Oh. Sorry, are we back?
We're getting there.
My internet died very briefly, but I think we're back.
We're getting there. Hello.
Oh,
there we go. We're back.
We're back.
I see. Yep, we're back. It was skippy for a moment, but now we're back.
My internet likes to do this every single week. Give me a scare. Give me a heart attack. Okay.
It doesn't like you, man.
It doesn't. Anyway, point is, shouts Antti and Azza. They my boys. They my boys. I think they've got a real shot this season. I really do. I think their conference. I think they're probably second, if not best in the conference. I'm sorry, Debbie. And we'll just see how that pans out. But yeah, Antti and Azza, we'll see. Moving on from previous games onto games which are coming up, we have to go straight back to Origin, and we actually have a little bit of time still, so we're going to go a little bit in depth, or as much as we possibly can, into these games. There are some really, really tasty fixtures coming up this week. No one's undefeated, no one is winless, so these games realistically could go any way. Doom, Unicorns, Colts, both at a 2-4 record. Who are you taking?
Well, despite Unicorns only getting a win this past week, I'm gonna have to go against the grain, and I'm going Colts, because my boys Big Pug and Gibby and Double Jacob, I know are pretty good, so I'm pulling for them.
Shout out to Gibby in the chat as well. I saw you in earlier. Pleasure to have you in, my friend. Debbie, Colts, Unicorns, where is your money?
Unicorns got a lot of talent, but I'm gonna go with the Colts. I think the Colts take the victory here. Devil Jacob and Squirrel. Now that's a scary duo right there.
It is. I've skirted them a bunch of times with Cobb and our team. They're deadly.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Unicorns. I think the Unicorns can pull this out. I know the Colts are a scary team, but they have just been swept this week, and it's all about... We've talked about this on the show before, but I think it's all about response. And whether they respond to that in a negative way and start thinking, start getting in their own heads, we have to win the next game, we have to do this, we have to... we getting to the point where they're over-trying, if that makes sense. They're putting a little bit too much, over-committing into plays and all that kind of stuff. And the Unicorns just coming off the back of a big win over a very good Coyotes team. I think the Unicorns could take it. I think it'll be close though. I don't see that one being a sweep, but we will see. The Griffins currently sitting at 4-2, taking on the Huskies 2-4. Debbie, what about you? Where do you think this one goes?
I think this goes into the Griffins' favor right here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's their first loss in a while from last week, so I think they bounce back here and just continue their dominance. Take a win over the Huskies. The Huskies, as much as I love Cole Bags, they just seem like maybe the chemistry is a little bit off. They haven't been able to stay as competitive as they should be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Griffins just take advantage of that and walk away with the win.
Doom, what do you think?
I'm actually going on the opposite side. I'm going Huskies, because Griffins might be stacked and all, but if Colback's plays his cards right and decides to start popping off along with Fluffy and Squashy and stuff, then they might surprise. So yeah, despite getting their asses kicked by us last week. Sorry about that. Not anyway. Yeah, Huskies, I'm pulling for you.
Huskies, I'm not pulling for you. I think the Griffins are going to take it for me. I think Debbie is onto something with that particular team. I mean, just looking at who's in it. I don't know. I think obviously Senpai, friend of FDL Central, had him on a few times, and Omen and Slammermoth as well. Great players. I back the Griffins in that one, but I absolutely see why the Husky could cause an upset. I really don't think that one is as cut and dry as maybe the records would show. It's a close one maybe. Dragons 4-2 versus the Coyotes, sitting at an even record of 3-3. Doom, what do you think? Dragons or Coyotes?
I'm going Dragons there. Coyotes might pull off something, maybe, since I know as Azariel, I'm just gonna call him that because I don't know how to say his name. Anyway, and Hubert and their other third, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. They're pretty good and all, but yeah, Dragons, they're stat.
Debbie, Dragons, Coyotes.
I'm gonna go opposite. Coyotes sitting at 3-3 right now. I think the Dragons are a great team. Don't get me wrong, but I know the Coyotes players. They're sitting there. They're grinding. I believe in the Coyotes. I think they walk away with a win here, man.
This is my problem with predictions when I've done this show for a couple of weeks. Is I find it really hard to go against people who have had on. So I've had Grandpa and Yupa on the show a couple of weeks ago, and man, they were so much fun, and they're great at the game. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Coyotes. I think I'm gonna have to go with my bias, my FDL Central bias, which is definitely showing right now. But come on, the Coyotes, you can get the win next week. I believe in you. And finally, in Origin League, Seagulls, your team, Doom, taking on the 3-3 Monkeys. Doom, I'm not gonna ask you who's gonna win. I'm gonna ask you for I'm gonna ask you for a score. I'm gonna ask you for the score. What? How does it finish?
About to say, you better not ask me who's gonna win, because you know where my loyalties lie.
I do.
You know where my loyalties lie. Score, Seagulls, Monkeys. I'm not gonna be a bold person. Say, we queen sweeping them. You might be scary, but you ain't got nothing on me, bro.
The confidence.
You ain't got nothing on me, bruh.
3-0. I cannot wait to replay this clip next week.
It'll happen. It'll happen. You'll eat your words right now. It'll happen.
Maybe. Debbie,
Trust me.
are you going to go with your fellow panelist, or are you going to go against him?
Why you gotta do me like this?
That's the question I got to ask.
I love Cobb K. I love Doom. Cobb K is my assistant GM in another league. But I also know the Monkeys players. And they're not any slouches.
This is the difficult.
It's just...
It's okay. I'd rather be the underdog. It's fine.
I think it's dependent on the Monkeys. This is the Monkeys' game to lose. Because if they just come out playing bad, the Seagulls are going to take full advantage of that. But I think if the Monkeys come out playing well, then they can take the win. But with that being said, I'm going to go Seagulls over Monkeys. 3-2.
Ooh, Seagulls over Monkeys 3-2. Respect that. I want to make an informed decision. So, Doom, are you playing?
Make wisely right now.
Are you playing?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Then it's Monkeys all day. It's got to be.
Damn it! You should have learned your mistake last time, Rhino. Come on now.
Rhino showing no mercy.
It's too easy. It's too. You know, sometimes you got to have a bit of fun on this show.
Exactly.
Seriously, in a series, because I know Cobb K is a madman. I know that, and I'm
just making this harder for you, aren't I, right now?
No, because I still think I'm going to go for the Monkeys, but I do think it will be close. I'm not going to just say it's going to be a wash. I think it is 3-2. I think it goes all 5 games. I think Debbie's right. I think the Monkeys just edge it, but that's going to be a close game, and I hope I get to watch it. And
I'm still standing by what I said.
You should.
I'm being bold. I'm being the bold guy, so I don't care.
People appreciate that, but they also appreciate it when it goes against you. So we'll see. We'll see how that.
You guys will learn your mistakes when we make playoffs. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
We got plans.
We'll see how that goes. Moving on to Debbie's league, which is obviously Adept. Monkeys 2-4 versus Gators 5-1. In fact, you know what? I'm not even gonna ask that to the floor. I'm gonna count down from 3 to 1, and we're all gonna say the team that we think that is gonna be for this particular game. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Gators.
Gators.
Correct.
Yeah,
answers.
no question.
Okay.
Well, I'm going against the grain, but after seeing Gators season, Gators.
Rams currently winless, taking on the Vipers 3-3. I could do the same thing again, but I'm gonna see if anyone fancies the Rams in this one. Debbie.
No, the Vipers got this.
Doom.
I'm gonna go against the grain and say Rams. Fuck it.
I knew someone would.
We're gonna get one.
I appreciate you.
Hey, listen. I got love for my boy J-Dubs and his teams. So, yeah. Rams.
I respect
you guys can do it. I believe in you. I pass all my faith on to you.
And they came close this week against the Coyotes. They only lost 3-2. It was a close game.
Yeah, they're improving. They need to finish it.
They are one game away from victory, but I think they continue to be one game away from victory. I think the Vipers have this. But it could be another 5-game series. I don't think the Rams are going to let anyone have easy wins this season. So if the Vipers aren't switched on, I think they could be in for a big shock. But I think they've got enough just now. Huskies, Coyotes, Doom.
Yeah, I'm going Huskies just because I don't want to make the same mistake of betting against Miller.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Huskies.
Debbie?
I love you.
Miller's a phenomenal player. I mean, the entire Huskies roster is great. Miller, Romeo, and Swanson. But I don't know. I feel like the Coyotes are going to come in guns blazing. They're going to catch a Huskies team off guard, and they're going to come away with a win here. Go up 4-3.
We are talking about a Huskies team that delivered the Gators their first loss of the season, and not only that, it was a sweep. 3-0. They beat them.
That is correct.
Oh, Debbie, you're a braver man than I. I'm gonna stick with the Huskies. I think the Huskies to continue their ridiculous form. Speaking of ridiculous form, we have to move on to Doom's franchise, who, we're going to be honest, they've got an uphill task this week, as the Seagulls, who are currently 3-3, take on the undefeated Griffins. Doom, I'm concerned that I know the answer to this question that you're going to give me. Can the Seagulls get the win?
Yeah, I mean, I love your pancake, but again, y'all know where my loyalties lie. This shouldn't even be a question. Y'all know where I stand.
Okay.
It's just that simple.
Seagulls to get the win. Not surprising. Debbie, are you going to go down the same route? Or are you going to be clever?
I think the Griffins take this win against the Seagulls. Adispeti and his boy Pepe, they're great players, but the Griffins, the offense is just on another level. And I think it's going to overwhelm the Seagulls.
Yeah. I also think the Griffins have too much for the Seagulls this particular week. But that is not to say that I think the Seagulls are a bad team in the slightest. It's just the Griffins have been playing out their minds this season. So.
I honestly, I could see that game going to 5. That series going to 5.
I could see it going to 5. Yeah, I still think Griffins win that 5th game. For me. But we'll see.
All I know is it goes to 5 and it gets settled at a game 5 OT. That's what I'm predicting.
And now comes what I'm referring to on FDL Central forevermore as the Scoot Dilemma. Penguins are sitting at 0-6, right? They are. And they're playing against the Eagles that are 4-2. But I personally always struggle to bet against Scooteroo. I know how good a player he is. I know what he's capable of. And I know if he finds it one week, he's going to make me look like a damn fool. So, Debbie, what do you do here? What do you think is going to happen in this game?
Eagles in 5.
I knew he was going to go there.
Doom, same thing?
This is tough because, like, KJ and stuff are my boys, but at the same time, I'm also pulling for my boy Scoot, too.
Oh yeah, I shouldn't have asked Debbie. Actually, this is his team. That's on me. I missed that.
I knew his answer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Penguins in 4. Eagles are probably gonna take at least 1, but yeah, I'm gonna say Penguins in 4.
So my thing is, I know what team the Eagles are running this week, and I'm not sure I'm allowed to reveal it.
I'll hold off on a little bit.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say, but oh,
it's tough, I know, because KJ and Southpaw are like the favorites, but at the same time, everyone's also pulling for Scoot to finally get one.
Hey,
I want Scoot to win, just not against my team.
Yeah, right. I cannot see Scoot going winless for a full season, but I do not think he gets that win this week. I think for me, the Eagles are gonna take it. They've been up and I'm gonna say it, Debbie, that you've been up and down a little bit this season. It's been some weeks good, some weeks not so. But I mean, that's why you're sitting on 4-2. but for me, I think the Eagles do have enough, and getting that fifth win is pretty much gonna put you guys in a really good position to get playoffs. So I think you're gonna be hungrier for it, and for that reason, I think it's gonna be Eagles. But I hate betting against Scuderi because he's gonna make me look like a fool one day. He is.
Hey, maybe next week's the week.
Maybe
this week's the week.
Maybe this week's the week. Finally, in Adepts League, we're going to go Owls, Unicorns. Owls are currently 3-3. Unicorns are 2-4. Doom. Talk to me.
I'm gonna say Owls. Unicorns maybe, but I think they could probably take them to 4 or 5. But nothing stopping Godly and those guys. So yeah, one of the two can.
Debbie, what do you think?
I think the Unicorns are a little bit on a bounce back. They just took us to Game 5. I think Fubsky has revitalized his motivation, and I think the Unicorns come away with a win.
Yeah, but the Owls swept the Seagulls, and that's hard to do.
I mean,
oh no! We're not gonna have that on there. I hear it. Not gonna have infighting on this panel. Owls for me. Just that's a Game 5 for me. That's one of those that could go either way. I think the Owls are gonna take it. Right. We have been through Origin. We have been through Adept. For the next couple of leagues, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to a very favourite format on the FDL Central, which is one-word answers. Okay? Mainly because I've noticed we're running out of time. But we move on to Expert League, and I am going to say the match. I'm going to say their records, and I'm going to say one of your names, followed by the other person. We're going to do one-word answers. Here we go. Blasting through Expert League. Colts and Monkeys, both 3-3. Doom.
Colts.
Debbie.
Monkeys.
Colts. Coyotes 4-2, taking on the Gators 3-3. Debbie.
Coyotes.
Doom.
Gators.
Ooh. Coyotes for me. We can't actually talk about this next game because it has already been played. The Rams beat the Vipers 3-2. They played tonight, I think it was. And so week 7 is already in the books for the Rams and the Vipers. Rams take that one 3-2 if you didn't hear about that one already. Huskies 4-2 versus Hornets 0-6. Debbie.
Huskies.
Doom.
Hornets.
Woo. Huskies for sure. Unicorns 3-3. Sorry.
I'm just being all controversial on this today. Damn.
Hey, I appreciate you. I think the Hornets are going to get a win at some point. It's just when that comes. I don't know yet. Unicorns 3-3 versus Seagulls 2-4. Doom.
Seagulls. Again, you know where my royalties lie.
Debbie.
Eagles.
Ooh, I'm going Unicorns. I think you two are crazy.
I'm not crazy. Again, you know where my royalties lie, bud.
Fair. Dragons 2-4 versus Penguins 1-5. Debbie.
Dragons.
Doom.
Penguins.
Yeah, Penguins. Screw it. Why not? Hydras 4-2 versus Owls 3-3. Doom.
Owls.
Debbie.
Owls.
Hydras. I'm never turning my back against local. My boy.
Yeah, I figured.
The Scottish boy. Griffins 4-2 versus Eagles 5-1. Debbie.
You know what I'm gonna say. Eagles.
Yep. Surprise. Doom.
Griffins.
Infighting on the panel. Eagles for me. I think they've got too much.
Hey, I'm not betting against my boy brother. Eagles are good, but like.
Brother's a good
Yeah.
player. Brother's a good player. But I mean, that Eagles team of Paddy Bell and T Nori is also naughty. That is.
Sure.
That's a squad right there. With that said, we can swiftly move on to Star League. We go again. One-word answers. Colts 3-3 versus Penguins 2-4. Debbie.
Colts.
Doom.
Colts.
Colts clean sweep on the panel. Hydras 4-2 versus Rams 4-2. Close game this one. Doom.
Rams.
Debbie.
It's a tough one, I know.
Close.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Hydras.
Can't bet against J-Dubs. Rams for me. Vipers, as far as I know, 2-3. Against Dragons 2-4. Doom.
Dragons.
Debbie.
Vipers.
Yes.
That's another tough one, I know.
Vipers. They are 2-4. Sorry, I can confirm. Vipers are 2-4. So I'm gonna go with the Vipers. I think that's gonna be a close game. For the last one, I'm gonna do it again, where I'm just gonna count down from 3 to 1. We're all gonna say the same answer after I count down. Owls 5-1 versus Gators 2-4. 3, 2, 1. Owls.
Owls.
Good.
I was about to say Gators, but it's like, nah, nothing stopping Owls.
No,
Not this time.
they're correct.
Sorry, Stubbs, love you.
And finally, for our recap, for our predictions, my apologies, we have to move on to Elite League, the final league that we are discussing, and one-word answers for the final time tonight. Rams 1-5 versus Monkeys 3-3. Doom.
Monkeys. I'm not betting against my boy Chris. That can't happen.
Debbie.
Rams. Chris for the K needs to get a loss here so he can get to that 5-5.
I think this is his. I think this is his win week. I think he's penciled this in as a win for his 4-3. But I think next week I'm going to predict him to get a loss, so he goes to 4-4. Vipers, as far as I know, 2-3 versus Huskies, currently unbeaten, 6-0. Debbie.
I'm gonna go Huskies.
Doom.
Yeah, Huskies.
I would have respected you a lot if you went for the Vipers, because that would take some balls on stream. Huskies.
Okay,
all day.
never mind, Vipers.
You've already said Huskies. You cannot change your answer.
Damn it. I can't bet against my boy Lottie, though, and Tater.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't.
Lottie and
Good.
Tater are crazy. Huskies it is. Colts 5-1 taking on the Hornets, currently winless. Debbie.
I'm gonna go Colts.
Yeah, you are. Doom. Surely not.
I'm gonna be a brave soul and go Hornets. Fuck it. Fuck it. They'll get one.
Milio and Saws are currently laughing in front of their Twitch. It is the Colts.
just like-
It's the Colts all day long. Penguins 3-2 taking on the Owls 0-6. Doom.
Again, being a brave soul, Owls.
Yeah. Debbie.
I'm gonna go Penguins.
I think the Owls break their duck this week. I think it's the Owls' first win of the season. Here we go. 1-6 for Owls. Dragons 3-3 versus the Unicorns. I have no idea. Last I checked, it was 1-3, but it could be anything. Debbie.
I'm gonna go Unicorns here. Honestly, them get another one.
Unicorns for the win. Doom.
Dragons. They'll still continue.
I think I'm going with the Dragons as well. I think the new guy they brought in, Bub, is a bit good. And I think he shows that again this week. And finally, Hydra is currently undefeated, 5-0, taking on the Eagles, Sky and CBK, currently 4-2. Doom.
Hydras. They stay undefeated.
Debbie.
Eagles.
It's not surprising that you would say that.
I knew it.
Oh, Anti and Azza, my boys, CBK and Sky, so good.
This is tough for Rhino.
Listen to your heart right
Legit, this game is going to be crazy. I think this could be the match of the week. I think if you're going to watch any game in the FDL this week, watch this game because these 4 players are nuts. I can't go against my European boys. I'm sorry, Devi. I gotta go for the Hydras. I think they continue going undefeated. I think they take it, but
they're both crying on the screen right now.
Dude, it's so close in that game.
Yeah,
So
it's
close.
it's like game 5 OT close.
It should be. Yeah, that should be a crazy game. Although I bet Debbie thinks it's going to be a 3-game sweep. So.
Yeah, well, he's a brave soul, just
like
I was.
Yeah.
This looks like you said. It'll be the match of the week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Have a watch of that game. Anyway, we have in fact reached the end of our wonderful show tonight. FDL Central is wrapping up. Before we go, Debbie, is there anything you would like to say? Anyone you'd like to shout out? Anyone you'd particularly like to ego? Now is the time.
Shouts out to Coyotes, expert team, Comas, Yeti. You guys are cracked. I've scrimmed against you guys. Watch out, Griffins. We already beat you in scrims in preseason. We're going to look to be the first team to take you guys down. Shouts out, Gurgling. I see you there yelling in chat.
He do be
You're my
yelling.
boy.
He
Got
do
you. But that's all I got for now.
Absolutely appreciated having you on the show. Doom, talk to me. Anyone you'd want to shout out? Any egos? Anything you want to talk about for next week? Now's your chance.
Well, shout outs to Unicorns. Hopefully y'all continue to streak. Griffins, you want to talk so much shit, but yet, yeah, you're gonna get ego. Y'all are gonna get ego. Trust me, we're coming for you. Just trust me. Yeah.
I
That's
love
all I'll
it.
say because I don't want to get in trouble. But
Big words.
you want to talk so much stuff, but yet you can't back it up, bud. Come on now. Bring it.
Oh, there's so many clips here that I can use for the future. It's going to be great.
Hey, y'all need to
gonna
have
be-
it up more often. Damn.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm controversial as fuck.
That is going to do it for this wonderful Thanksgiving episode of FDL Central. Thank you so much for joining us in the chat. We really appreciate all of your comments and feedback. With that said, it is obviously Thanksgiving. So FDL Central, thank you. FDL Central will not return next week because this is kind of like a 2-game week thing that the FDL is doing right now. So I'm gonna go away. There is a real chance that we are not back next week. Stay locked on all our socials for news on that. Apart from that, we will definitely at least see you guys on the 8th of December, 6 p.m. EST, Wednesday, where we go through all of the Week 7 action and we bring you predictions for Week 8. With that being said, we have come to the end of our show. Thank you so much for sticking with us and watching our wonderful podcast. Lil Debbie, Ethereal Doom, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you both on. I hope we get to talk more in the future. But for now, this has been your hub of all things FDL, FDL Central. See you next time.